Could it be possible that Jeffrey Epstein, is still alive? We're going to look at a couple of videos that discuss this, right? We've got some drone footage of an alleged sighting of Jeffrey Epstein, recorded about 6 months ago, right? We've also got Michael Franzese, who used to be the head of one of the largest, most dangerous mafia. He was a mafia boss. He's also talking about the fact that he was in a prison cell that Jeffrey Epstein was in. And there's no possible way that you could have committed suicide in that maximum security prison. So we've got that as well. We also have Voidzilla. Well, I know him as Coffeezilla, but he's got another channel, Voidzilla, talking about the Epstein footage. And he's recreated the Epstein footage. Or, well, not footage, but, he's recreated the scene. We're going to look at that. But before we do, please do me a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Like the video. That would definitely help me grow this channel. That would be very much appreciated, guys. Right, so this is the footage that we've got here. We're going to play it on mute because it's got some music in the background and stuff. But in a nutshell, this is the drone footage capturing alleged Epstein. This is allegedly Epstein in, I don't know if it's on his island or whatever, okay? We'll play it over on one of the shorts to get a better look as well. Let's just
Drone footage captures Jeffrey Epstein alive. Maintenance worker notices a drone is above and warns Epstein. Epstein then looks up and notices the drone, and within seconds gets into his vehicle so he's out of sight. Not even 5 minutes later, look who's seen racing away. Considering the fact that Epstein is dead, why is there still maintenance on the island, and who is paying these workers? Are the checks coming from the $577 million trust fund created by Epstein 2 days before his death with anonymous beneficiaries?
Yeah, so as you see, pretty strange occurrence there. Is it Epstein? Is it really Epstein? It looks like it could be. It looks like it could have been, guys. But yeah, anyway, next we have Michael Franzese, who is he was the head of the mafia in America, New York or one of those places, right? Michael Franzese. He's a born-again believer in Christ now, which is why I'm inclined to believe what he says, because I would assume that he wants to speak truth only, right? And he talks about the fact that there's no way it was even possible for Epstein to unalive himself. He was in the same prison, on the same unit, for approximately 7 months. So he gives his view in this next clip as to why it's not actually possible to take your own life over there. All right, guys? So we're going to play that clip. Let's just get into it.
Welcome to the program. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me, Benny. I got to say, everything you just said, you're just so on point. It was a delight to listen to you because you echo exactly what myself and so many other people are thinking right now.
Please, the floor is yours. We have you on here, obviously, as a subject matter expert. Part of the reason why everybody cares so much about this is that it just seemed too damn convenient that this living witness to so much of this corruption, whatever it ended up being, just dies in federal custody. On its face, Michael, and I'm not, please, I don't want to go on a rant here, but on its face, isn't that like possibly the biggest scandal that inside of the federal government's custody, inside of this maximum security prison, that he's able to kill himself? That alone is a horrible scandal. That has no answer.
Well, yeah, Benny, and I don't believe that. Like you said in the opening here, I spent 7 months on that tier in that cell. And I've said this since day one. I just don't see how he committed suicide. It's almost impossible to do. You'd have to work so hard for so long, and you just, number one, you don't have the time. You got cameras that are. I don't. In my experience, I don't ever remember those cameras going out. Number one. Number two, the COs are constantly walking the tier. I've said this. There's times when you're trying to use the toilet and they're opening up and looking in on you, especially when you had somebody like Epstein that was on suicide watch prior to that. They're going to watch him closely. And, inside the interior of the cell, there's just no mechanism for you to hang yourself. There's a low bunk, there's nothing on the ceiling. You'd have to be a midget, a little guy to try to, really work real hard. It's not possible. I don't see it. And I don't see the guy committing suicide anyway, but Benny, it's really time. The federal government has just been so corrupt and lying to us about so many of these issues. You only go back to COVID. You only have to go back.
So as you can see there, you got Michael Franzi saying it's not even possible to do that to yourself in this prison. I mean, coming from someone who's been there himself, it's quite believable, wouldn't you say? In this final clip, we're going to talk about, or we're going to show you Voidzilla, okay? And he's going to be talking about some of these coincidences and how it's virtually impossible, or it should be impossible for this to happen as well. I don't know whether we'll be able to have enough time to run the full clip, but we'll just play it from now. And you guys can see a little bit about what he's saying in this. Let's just run the clip.
We recreated Epstein's prison in 3D to show you the top 5 lies hidden in the government's footage. And you can get the raw file on Patreon to explore it yourself, and let's jump into it. Lie number 5, you're gonna get a video of the cell.
And you're gonna get the video of the cell. And you're gonna see for yourself.
Kash Patel, the FBI director, told us that this footage was of Jeffrey Epstein's cell, but it's not. Let's fly over to where Epstein's cell actually is. I've marked it with a green door. Down the hall, we actually see a camera marked in red that wasn't recording the night of Epstein's death, which brings us to our next lie. There was only one camera.
There's a video of him.
No, not.
And 9 other cameras that were working but not recording due to a malfunction only days earlier. Now, the official report says that recordings should have been made for about half of the cameras, but in Epstein's block, only 2 out of 11 cameras were recording. Really bad luck, I guess. Now, I should say all the cameras were working before that, at a time when Epstein accused his cellmate of trying to kill him, and this was contradicted by his cellmate who said Epstein tried to commit. Epstein later got put on watch for this event, and we should have been able to get that footage, except the prison failed to save the correct file. Prosecutors claimed the footage contained on the preserved video was for the correct date and time, but captured a different tier than the one where Jeffrey Epstein was located.
It was only one camera.
So our deputy director lied when he said there was only one camera. There were actually 11. At least 2 were recording. Only 1 got released. And according to our own government's report, 5 or 6 should have been recording, but weren't. When the cameras were working properly, they didn't save the right files. Incredibly unlucky. But lie number 3, there's nothing unlucky about it, because we were told directly that the footage we were gonna get showed there was no one there but Epstein.
You're gonna see there's no one there but him.
Right.
There's just nobody there. So I say to people all the time, if you have a tip, let us know. But there's no DNA, there's no audio, there's no fingerprints, there's no suspects, there's no accomplices, there's no tips, there is nothing.
The footage just directly debunks this. There are several people who appear in the footage the FBI released, and actually one even appears after lockdown walking up the stairs. The government's report at first called this laundry, but independent.
Guys, I'll stop it there. If you want to watch the full video, you can go over to his channel, but very insightful, right? Very insightful. But, with all the Epstein files release going on, all the chat about it all over the internet, it's going viral again. Yeah, he's back in the algorithm. Well, I thought it interesting to look at this because the question remains, right? Is he really dead? Was that his body that they pulled out of the prison, right? And again, in fact, I can go and There was another video that I could have showed you some footage from, but I've lost it now. But anyway, he was a very high profile, if not the most high profile criminal in America at the time this story hit. It's taken years for them just to even release some files, right? And I believe they've only released like half of them to date, right? We're seeing Jay-Z implicated now. We're seeing Pusha T implicated. We're seeing Prince Andrew, or formerly known as Prince Andrew. We've got Bill Gates with the whole Melinda Gates affair stuff. STDs and all that sort of stuff, right? Or STIs, whatever you call them in America. But this is, I wonder, you know, why would 9 of the cameras be out if he's like the most high profile criminal? He would most likely have been on S Watch as well, right? There's no way he probably, according to Michael Franzese, there's no way he could have done it to himself. If you look at, there's an interview that was released recently, and he talks about his time in prison and how it didn't really bother him that much, kind of thing, right? Why would he? I don't know. It's crazy. You know, call me a conspiracy theorist, right? But I don't believe in coincidences. I just wanted to make this video and kind of give my take on it. You can let me know what you think in the comments, guys. But yeah, guys, subscribe to the channel, like the video, tick the little bell for notifications, and we'll see you in the next one.